Hello, this is Sabina at Crosskeys Crafts with a new video. Today I'm trying something new. I've never done this before. I'm creating an ATC, an artist trading card. This is a challenge or a thing that Visible Image offer on their Facebook group, and I thought this month I'm going to join. And they have got a topic every month, and this month for December it's green, red and gold. It doesn't have to be a Christmassy card, but well, I don't even have any Christmassy stamps, but I decided to go for this little squirrel because that I might get away with it looking a bit Christmassy. And the longest this took me is basically to decide which materials I'm going to use, and I eventually went for my pine elements. I don't have many green colours, and this is the closest and the darkest I could get to a Christmassy colour. Then I've decided to use some lunar paste, but just for some background shading, and for the red I'm going to use my stickles in cranberry. I've also got ready some green tinsel embossing powder because I would like to emboss a few elements in the background. It's really difficult to work on this small scale. It's 3.5 by 2.5, so I've never done it that small, but yeah, it's quite a challenge, and I do like a challenge. What I have already prepared is I have stamped out my scribble onto a scrap piece of card. I've cut it out and I used it as a mask, and I basically ink blended with my brush just over this. Did quite a few layers because I wanted this to be darker than just one layer. I've left this to dry. I hope it's enough. I've already used my embossing body, but I'm going to use that again because I've just touched it. By the way, I've glued this down onto my scrap paper with removable adhesive because I think it's much easier to handle it then. So, and my ideas, I've got these, just to show you these again. So I've got the scribble, and I've got these acorns and the oak leaf stamps here, and I want to use these just to fill in this background. So my idea is to emboss these with the green embossing powder. So I'm inking this up with my reverser mark. I'm just doing this on the side because it's the first time I'm using these stamps, so against the light I can check that the image is complete. I just want to fill this in a bit here. And then with the oak, just one there, doing another one there. I don't want to fill it up too much because I want to leave some space for my stickles. So now I have to remove this. I've got all my embossing powders in these little boxes, well, some are on bigger boxes because I find it so much less messy if I just do it above the box, and then all the excess can go back in the box. Just a bit more at the bottom there. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to heat emboss this off screen. I won't bother you with the noise, and I'll be back in a sec. Okay, I'm back. So the trick with glittery embossing powder is to heat it up from underneath first, and you will see the card will bend a bit, but once you heat emboss it on the top, it will basically bend back, and it's not too badly bent here. The problem is if you heat emboss it from the top, some of the glitter might just blow away, but if you heat it from underneath, you have the heat but not the blowing function there. So see if I can stick this back on here. So now I'm going to stamp my scribble onto here. I'm going to risk it not using my stamping tool. No, I'll tell you what, I will risk getting my stamping tool out because I don't want to mess this up. So sometimes it's worth going the extra bit. Just remove this from here. I always got a bit of scrap paper here just in case I leave some stamps on the screen, on the lid here. But this is also handy now to glue this down again. So this is my stick it removable. I've marked it so it won't mix it up with my other glue tape. So, and then a little trick, because I've already got some ink on my stamp, I'm going to put some acetate over the top for me to line it up properly, so I won't get the excess from this onto the image before I want to stamp it down. So it's easy now for me to align this. I hope you can see this a little bit off screen there. So make sure I'm not moving the acetate around. So going to pick this up. There we go. So now I can remove the acetate. Sorry, I have to push my stuff a bit to the side here. If you're like me, your craft table is a bit messy. So, sorry, I'm inking this up off screen. And just pressing it down, get my stamping buddy, which is basically a wooden doorknob, and I put some felt underneath. I can press this down. And there we go. I missed out a bit on the tail, but I'm not too bothered about that because I'm going to put some stickers there as well. So take this off. I'll leave that in here for now until I clean it up. So now I want to use my Lunar paste. If you've never worked with Lunar paste, it's basically a very shimmery paste, and what you do is just you put a bit on your finger and you can squash it out like this. So my idea was just to go around the edges a bit and just give it a bit of a shimmer. I tell you what, I'll actually take it off for that again. So this is again why I'm not too bothered about having a little bit missed out there. I think I'll actually go a bit around in a curve, try to blend it in nicely. I like the way that this gives it a sort of a grungy look, because the stamps are designed a bit like that as well. It's not to be meant to be cute or neat. So I'm trying to fade this out a bit where I've got the heat embossing. Sorry if I'm going off screen again in the meantime. Trying not to get too much on the back. If I do mess the back up, I might have to put another layer on the back. So I think that'll do. Just clean up my fingers. Got this tip off YouTube the other day. I can't remember who did it, whether it was Christine Stokes, to just leave the wet wipes that you use, if it's still okay, just put it in a clear box and you can reuse that rather than throwing it every time away you use one. So just making sure my fingers are really clean. So yeah, I definitely will have to put something on the back, just a thin layer. So just seeing what else I want to do. Yeah, I think I just put my stickers on the top now. Again, what I want to do is just add a bit of shimmer every now and then. I don't want to really use this as dots, but I just make it up as I go along. So just a bit on the side, put your finger in it, and then just dab around a bit. And if you create something like this, just play around with it. It doesn't have to be neat or perfect. It's actually the joy of playing with the materials. And it's quite nice sometimes to get your fingers messy. So I'm getting a bit more on the scribble. Yeah, and I think I will put a few dots. Now I'll tell you what, I'll see if I've got some pearl drops that would go nicely in the colour. I've got some gold ones. Green's not the quite right green, so I just sorry, not the right green, so I just use my the Dovecraft Pearl Effect dots, and they're from Poundland. They're only £1, so I messed the first one up a bit. Add a bit more, making sure it turns into a round shape. So when you add these, what you need to do is you need to tap it from the bottom, and that will help them flatten out. Yeah, I think the only thing I'm going to do is I've got a black gel marker. I'm going to fill in the scribble's eye. So I always find that that gives quite a nice effect. Gives it some dimension. And there we go. A red, green and gold artist trading card with a visible image stamp. And once it's dry, I will have to flatten out that bit more. The lunar paste seemed to have warped it a bit as well. I think it might be quite wet. So I'm going to back it up with another paste and hopefully can straighten it out a bit more. But there you go. Very simple to make, really. A nice way to play along and work on a small scale rather than trying to fill in a big card image. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.